We also were told about the importance of coordinating federal programs for small and medium enterprises, because not having to deal with so many different departments became an issue for them as well. So that's why it was important to talk to the CEO of the Office of Small and Medium Enterprises, the office that was created in the fall of 2005 to address the concerns of SMEs. And even though that office was created in 2005, 4 years ago, we're still hearing these concerns from small and medium-sized enterprises. And the question was, if we have an office that's been put in place to deal with these issues that small and medium-sized enterprises have been raising, why are we still hearing again and again that these issues still exist? So it was interesting to speak to the CEO of the office and again to hear from her the inroads she's trying to make, the changes she's trying to make to try and accommodate small, medium-sized enterprises. But there is still a lot of work to be done, and I think we need to make sure that that office has all the resources it needs in order to be able to respond to the concerns being raised by small and medium-sized enterprises. The chair of the Canadian Business Information Technology Network told the committee that he found that the office had no power and could only act in an advisory role. That was serious, Madam Speaker, to hear that from this gentleman. To hear that he really didn't think that the office had any teeth, that it really couldn't deliver on behalf of small, medium enterprises, that it really wasn't in a position to change what was happening throughout the federal government in terms of making it more acceptable to small and medium-sized enterprises. He continued by noting that the office should have more clout to deal with the recommendations that the information technology industry has made on how to protect small, medium enterprises. So appearing before our committee as a witness was yet another approach made by the chair of the Canadian Business Information Technology Network. Another approach. It was a follow-up, Madam Speaker, to what this gentleman had already done to try and somehow make things easier for small and medium enterprises, especially in the information technology area. But obviously, appearing before the committee was something, again, he saw as an avenue that he could pursue, because still the changes that he had looked and had hoped to see come about as a result of the office, the OSME office, had not happened. Another gentleman from the Nanaimo Shipyard Group suggested that the office should consider focusing its research on regional spending by the federal government. If it spends a large majority of its money in one area, then they should be looking at whether small, medium enterprises are well represented. And again, this is something we continue to hear, that there really wasn't that emphasis being put on the importance of small, medium-sized enterprises. Is that the requests for proposals were put out there. Anyone could access, of course, and go forward and fill out this request for proposals. But the sense was that in some instances, there was just not, the process was not at all meant to accommodate small, medium enterprises. And that's a serious concern for those of us who are familiar with the importance of small, medium-sized enterprises. And Madam Speaker, if something is not done, if the recommendations that came out of our committee aren't followed, then we're going to find ourselves in a situation where, again, you're going to have a committee looking at the importance of small, medium enterprises, looking at trying to do what needs to be done to accommodate them, to ensure that they continue to operate as part of the economy in our country in a way that is fulfilling for them and that is one with which can be profitable for them. But when you look at a company that gives up on the federal government, that in fact says it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of energy, and on the other hand can sell their product into the US, what does that tell us about what small, medium-sized enterprises have to endure in order to do business in Canada? We really need to make changes that will be accommodating to small, medium-sized enterprises, and I'm hopeful that the recommendations that came out of our committee are recommendations that will be followed, but it's really important for people to know that those recommendations are there and that we are doing everything we can as a committee to make sure that their concerns are being addressed.
Questions and comments?